Hello everybody, welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and in this video we're going to kind of show the water process. I've got everything temporarily put together. I got water in it. I went and bought water at the in gallons, just drinking water, pure filtered drinking water. So you don't want to use your tap water in this. You're just asking for a buildup of nasty shit. Because one day I will pull this other yong heng head off and show you the water ports in that head. It just looked nasty. So I'm learning from experience. I think this is going to work out just fine. I am going to add a fuel gauge hole. This one I can't use, but I'm going to use this as the copy to make my hole for the level. So it looks like I'm going to have to put 12 volts to this too. So somewhere I'm going to have a power supply for AC and DC. So it wouldn't take much to run that gauge. So I don't see any other things that needs to be 12 volt. I just don't see a purpose. So without any more, don't forget to have your Trump coffee, and if you want, I'll wait here for you, but we know I'm not. So alright, so all we're going to do is test the water. I've already tested it. I just wanted you guys to see the process, because I do have water in it already. But I just have this hooked up temporary. Wires ain't even freaking taped up or nothing. I'm just sitting over here living on a prayer. So now I have started the pump, and basically I just turned these fittings into a where you can use a clamp by using 3/8 inch copper tubing like this right here, and I just cut a short piece to put in there, and now this is permanently a angle, barbed angle without the barbs. The pipe fits so tight in here, as you can see I have nothing on it, but I am going to add, once I'm done, a zip tie like I did here. These two here are married to that, so we know they're going to stay where they're at, because this is the compressor that's going to be used on this system. So we've got everything flowing, and I've got a few gripes. This here is advertised as a 2.5 gallon. You can get 2 gallon in it, period. I don't care how much hose you add to this thing, it ain't going to measure to no damn 2.5 gallon. I got 2 gallon in it, and it did not have enough room for another half gallon. It had enough about that far. I mean, it brought it up to almost the bottom of this cone inside. So as you can see, we do have bubbles, but if you tap them, see how they shocks them to leave. There we go. Now that one is out. And then we got a bubble here. Actually, we got a tornado going on here. See, this is why I wanted clear tubing, so I can see stuff like that. So we're just trying to get all the air fed out of it by just moving the hoses around, tapping them. But I'm never going to worry about that. There's enough water going through that I'm not worried about them bubbles. In fact, it makes it look cool. And it's hard to see the water coming through it because I cleaned this hose and the water is brand new, crystal clear. And so now what we're going to do here is we don't want these hoses anywhere near these lines. This one's okay, but this one here needs a little help. So I've made some brackets that we're going to use, one right here and one right here, and that's going to hold that hose parallel with all this going across. One will clamp here, one will clamp here, and wherever these two come together is where they'll be married together. So then once we get the system ready and in permanent usage, then we'll add the water wet to it, and I'll probably drain what's in here out, just to make sure there's nothing in it. In fact, we could probably look in it and see if there's anything in it. We may not even have to do that. And these things are a pain in the ass to get off. As you can see, I'm going to show you here. There's 2 gallon in there. And look where it's at. The float is right up to the... I mean, it can't go any further on. I mean, you got another 1/4 inch to go, and it won't even go any further. So that's full. So you got about a 1/4 inch until you're water. There's no way you're going to get even a frickin', you ain't even going to get a quart in there. So this is a 2 gallon tank. They lied to me, man. Not that it matters. I could care less. It's serving its purpose. I only need 2 gallons of water, but that's not the point. You know, if you're going to tell me that it's 2.5 gallons, then it should hold 2.5 gallons. I went and bought 4 gallons. There's 2 empty ones that I used, and here's the 2 full ones that I didn't use, just in case I had to empty it. But it looks clean. So anyway, I'm going to show you some little added touches here I did, and maybe tell you what we plan to do in the future. Now I'm thinking about painting this black, but I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. Basically, I just cut that out of, it's a rabbit cage 1/2 inch square wire, and I hope it doesn't create a vibration. If it does, we'll probably have to take some kind of a plate and put on this and hold that in place permanently. I've got it to where if I just take and bend it the center out, it'll come out, and then I'll just go back in. But if it vibrates, and it sounds like it's probably going to, what I need to do is get some more of this stuff here, a little better than that foam, and just put a strip across that, and put a better strip across this, and that should take care of that vibration. So but we'll see. It may not vibrate at all. So you don't fix something you don't need to fix, right? and just just plain, you know. It's just nothing fancy, but it looks good. I'm proud of it. It's gonna look even better. So now I'm thinking of a way to put some kind of a panel right here. Maybe just starting right here, because I mean the whole point of making these hoses look good is I want to be able to watch them. So whatever we put in here, be nice if I had glowing freaking water in there. There was whatever color I wanted. Uh, I need to do something like this for my computer, and I may take some ideas from this and do a water cooled like this for my computer system. Uh, I can make it where it has 2 or 3 different outlets and make it so that I can water cool all my computers, both of them. Uh, that's funny. I don't see me spending a lot of time on that. Anyway, so we've got, let me put that lid back on that before we end up putting stuff in there. But that water looks crystal clear. I'm pretty sure I got everything out of it because I blowed it out. I took the shot back, vacuumed it out, then I blowed it out again and got in underneath everything, and I think I had it pretty clean to begin with. So I was just worried about some shavings getting in behind the pump, between the pump and this wall over here. So I got it all out apparently. I've done run this system. It's running right now. You can't even hear it. Yeah, you can't even hardly hear it, man. It's that quiet. But it's working though. I do need to get some kind of an indication in here. I'm wondering if maybe there's some kind of a something you can put in here to make it move. Or dance around or something, or spin. Put some kind of a spinning thing in line with that right there in the middle. That'd look cool as shit. You just sit there and watch this thing spin as the water flows through and causes it to spin. That'd be cool. So, but that's an idea, and I'm thinking real serious about trying to make something like that. I mean, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work if you was to make a spiral to put inside of a hard tube, and then close it off on the ends and make a way to make fittings for it. Sort of like a filter that you would have on your vehicle, one of them glass filters that screws together. Maybe you can take and put that in line and make a propeller in there that spins with the water. So it would be a really tiny propeller, but it would be a flow indicator, because I mean you could see right there that water is crystal clear. You can't even tell there's any water in it. If it wasn't for the murky haze to it, I would think there was no water in that. So it would be nice to have an indication. But right now I'm working on my printer, 3D printed parts. I'm making the clamps for here and here. I'm also making a beauty cover that will cover the threads and the weld on this. And it's basically a plastic cover that goes down over top of this, and the inside of it is the shape of the outside of this. So it'll slide down on there. One says in and one says out. So we're going to paint the letters on it basically like I did on this right here. And forgive my mess on my bench, guys. That's called work in progress. And here I'm leaving that stuff on. Have no battery. But let me get you off the tripod here. I'm having y'all all over the place, ain't I? Yeah, it looks like that. And I probably used the wrong color for this. I'm probably going to repaint these. They're not real bright. I was trying to match this part, but mine is a flat. I mean, it does kind of match it, but it needs to pop out a little bit more. So then I made this light one here, and then I made the head up down, and I didn't move that one there, so we don't need to worry about that one because I don't need to have my finger on it. So but that's what I'm making, and basically what it's going to do is going to make this look like this, except it's going to be black and 3D printed, and it's just going to set on there. So that's why all this is temporary, because I still got to get that part put on there and get the letters painted on it, and it's about half done. It's been printing since yesterday, so it'll take a while. Now once this is done, we're going to have a nice aluminum platform that's actually going to extend to just right before the tire. And I'm thinking real serious about changing the wheels on this, but it requires me to make a new spindle or make some kind of a adapter to adapt these wheels to these wheels. But I don't know, this might be a little overkill. These are nicer wheels, and they are on ball bearings, and they will handle a lot more strength. Not that this needs a lot of strength, but you know, then we got these old cheap wheels on the front here that I'm seriously thinking about remaking. I turned these wheels, and they're not a bad wheel, they're just not for this kind of weight. So look, a future project. Piece of aluminum. So I probably got sidetracked about 3 times in that sentence, didn't I? Let me get y'all on the tripod here. Now, let's talk about why you don't want to run tap water in your compressor. So here everything's going to be right my way. It's got irons and all kinds of metals and minerals and all kinds of stuff in it. You don't want that growing and accumulating in your lines. Just look at houses. When you pull the piping out of them, what they look like after so many years. Well, you know, that happens in this, it does the same thing in this. So it's best to use things that's not going to rust, things that can't grow, bad stuff. And all right, then you say, well, okay, I got a creek running by my house. Maybe I can use that water. No, you don't want to use that water either. That's the same water you're getting in your well. And it's actually even filtered even better. But you don't want to use it either. So you got parasites and bugs and worms and all kinds of stuff, microscopic stuff that will continue to grow in that atmosphere. So it's best to go and just get you some water at the grocery store that's filtered, and it's not the best, but it's better than the tap water and the creek water or whatever water. Sure, you can boil it. You can process your water. I don't care. I'll wait for you to get done with that because I'm not going to do that. So I'm only going to go to the max that's going to keep me from working the hardest. So anyway, I'm thinking about taking these wheels here off of here and put them on the front, and that'll bring up the height so that it will be level. Because remember, if we do these other wheels, then we'll have to make a new plate. We don't want to do that. So I'm thinking it's going to be fine without the bigger wheels, because basically this is going to be moved into place, into location, and it's going to sit there. You're not going to be moving this thing around all the time. If you are, yes, you want to start with a heavier duty cart like this. And then just when you put your aluminum panel on it, I'm going to leave the plywood on it. And I'm going to mount that plywood on it. That's going to be my surface for bolting everything down. So then I'm going to take a piece of aluminum and I'm going to make it come out past almost to where the edge of the wheel is. And that's where I'm going to stop it. And that'll give me an overhang. So you're never even going to see that wood to begin with. So then I'll even take it a step further and bring it all the way to the end and make it drill the holes where the handle will slide down into it, and that will actually take away some of that wobble back and forth. So that way you maximize your platform use. So then I got to start building the electrical system. So we got to put 12 volt to it, and we got to put AC to it, and I want to put a switch on the fan. I want to put a switch on the pump, and I'm thinking serious about adding a switch for the compressor and eliminate that rocker switch, but then I'm gonna have a hole empty, or a hole or a part that's not working. So I'll probably add a third switch, maybe even a fourth switch if I've got one. I did get a bunch of switches, but I don't remember how many I've got left. So I've got some temperature gauges coming that I finally found. I've been bugging the poor guy that made one of these before, Hot Rod, yong heng. I think he calls his the Wong way, something like that. Maybe we'll have to give mine a name. Keep up with the Joneses, right? But still got a long way to go. It's usable right now. I can use that anytime I want. All I have to do is just bring my gun out here and fill it up, and it's ready to use right now. So the rest of it is basically just cosmetics and convenience. So we're going to use the same aluminum that we're using for the platform for the panel, for the control panel. And that control panel is going to fit right nice in the middle of all that, kind of off in the back, so I can still see my hoses. And let me unplug that before I forget. And then reach down there and touch them wires and forget that I unplugged it. That wouldn't be a pretty day. Not for me anyway. So I am going to go ahead and put the fuel gauge in. I'm going to add the 12 volt, but I got to learn how to hook the switch or the center unit to the gauge. I think you put 12 volt to the gauge, but there's a green wire and a yellow wire on that, so I got to figure out what the green wire and the yellow wire means. So which one's which? So it's all in figuring out how to attach the gauges. But I'm going to put them in place, and I'm going to account for them, and that way I'm prepared whether I use it or not. It'd be nice to have it working just because the wire is there, and I like to utilize all my features. I'm crazy like that. Gonna look pretty good, guys. This video's gotten too long, so don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. You guys have a good one. Later.